So, Black Samurai sounds pretty cool.
I'd say.
What's a cool and eclectic suffix for British?
I knew this was going to be another Britain prompt, and this is my wheelhouse. Suffix, do you say?
Yeah, so okay. Samurai.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if you said prefix or suffix. It's like, yay, British. Okay, British.
Gotta be cool, but appropriate for British as well.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing we can't achieve.
Hero.
British hero.
Hey kids, come and catch the new Smash Summer sensation, British hero.
Oh, I can't get down there.
No, I'd love to, but the trains and don't have the parts.
I've been cancelled again.
British hero. Dun, 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 dun.
It's some dreary old British anthem, but as a superhero theme.
A lot of different
Bloody hell.
Lots of that noise.
I don't mind fighting Lex Luthor, but it's awfully damp. It's wicked mild. I'm not going out.
Fuck it. But it's election day.
It's election day and the toys are stealing all the votes. Oh.
Well, what can
that
you do?
Sounds like a nationwide sort of thing. Why does it all come down to me, British hero?
Dun, 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 dun.
Fuck, he's rubbish. Fuck, he's awful at this. Who put him up to it? Who made the costume? Who is he accountable to? No one. That's the way of British hero. It's the bit at the end of The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He's only run 10 feet away and he's gotten shagged. Now he's bent over double. He's the hero we need, but not the one we deserve. Can someone give me push?
It's still Gary Oldman, but dressed up as Churchill. You can do it, Mr. Churchill. And then he's the new British hero.
You take over. I'm going up. I'm going home.
I'm fucked.
It's the end of The Dark Knight Rises. It's just fucking Churchill raising up on that thing. Only then it breaks halfway up. Oh, Christ. It wasn't a fat joke, everyone. It was just about how shit everything in England is.
Yeah.
Said to the fly, welcome to One Good Thing. I'm Paul Uri.
I command the gods.
Oh god, well, I survived Recommendations Month and in spite of the best efforts of Roll Plus Heart. 2 of them.
Yeah. Clash of the Titans in my books, and I think we all know who won and which one is Sam Worthington.
We all know which one now has the actual podcast, and they're letting me do this one, which is very nice of them.
Which is good of them, considering everything. Considering
how humiliating and constant my defeat at their hands were.
Yeah.
Good on them. The feet of their hands. To celebrate, I'm taking me old mucker coon, Paul Goodman, down the history hole.
Uh-oh. No, you told me this wouldn't happen again.
Down the history hole. And what's that waiting for us down here? A blaxploitation, martial arts, spy action, and adventure film. That implies so much more happens in this than actually does. From 1977, it's Black Samurai.
On land, on sea, in the air, in action. Jim Kelly is the Black Samurai, the incredible secret agent for Dragon. And half the world's out to kill it. Jim Kelly as the Black Samurai. No matter what the odds, they haven't got a chance against him. From Hong Kong to Haiti, come the men and women who play the dangerous game of voodoo and violence. They dance for him. They desire him. time for him. Black Samurai is coming your way. Jim Kelly heading for action.
What's the name of that? Is it Double Jeopardy when you have the answer and you have to guess the question? The film is a blaxploitation.
Spy action.
Yeah.
What is Black Samurai?
That's, what movie is One Good Thing covering this week?
Why does my butt hurt? Is correct. The film was directed by Al Adamson.
Al Adamson.
He's sometimes Adam Alson for tax reasons, but officially in movies he's Al Adamson.
Yeah,
a prolific B-movie director who was tragically murdered in 1995 by his live-in contractor. Hang on a minute, we've had this guy before. Live-in contractor, we've had that. Yes, Adamson directed Blood of Dracula's Castle, a classic episode of One Quick Thing.
Wow.
And once you know that, this makes a lot more sense.
Wow. Okay.
Yep, featuring Glenn Cannon, Liz, and a whole host of toucans.
Glenn,
Don't forget Mango.
Glenn Cannon, Jim Fabula, Betty Narrative.
She was my favourite. She was her indomitable spirit. Really saw us through some of the tougher moments of that film. Genuinely, that episode is one of my favourite things we've ever done. So I think it was One Quick Thing number 3, Blood of Dracula's Castle.
Yeah.
And
I do remember. Yeah, Jesus Christ. What a fuckhead of a movie.
What a fuckhead of a movie. And now we're experiencing its offspring. Oh, God. So, a bit more about Adamson than I went into for that episode, though. He directed Psycho A Go-Go in 1965.
Okay. Fantastic.
Lash of Lust in 1968, a lost film, tragically.
Oh.
The Fiend with the electronic brain. Not the friend with the electronic brain.
I thought you were going to say the friend with the broken arms. The friend whose arms I broke, a.k.a. Black Samurai 2.
The poster's just him, like, shrugging with the friend next to him in the class.
And the friend's Jason Bateman or something.
It's a hard not life. The Female Bunch. 5 Bloody Graves. He meets his wife Regina Carroll whilst casting Satan's Sadists in 1969.
Go on.
Yup, and that seems to be the end of that sentence, it seems. That took me by surprise.
And me, and I'm sure all the listeners at home.
Yeah. Where do you mean? We met in casting Satan's Sadists.
Go on. No, that's the end. That's the end of our story, our marriage story.
It was beautiful.
And the last 20 years wrote themselves.
Margaret came over to me and said, "Oh, her tits all look good when covered in blood and gore," and I knew she was the one.
The fact that she could see past her own gore-covered tits to the tits of
Truly
others,
admirable.
to the titties of strangers.
When you consider the titties of strangers, what a rich life you will lead.
Favourite Wordsworth.
Come, isn't that socialism? Come, let us gore each other's tits.
That's the socialism they want you to believe.
Speaking of hot relationships, he did also have good relationships with Hungarian cinematographers Vilmos Zsigmond and Laszlo Kovacs, before they became icons of New Hollywood. And indeed, Blood of Dracula's Castle, the worst movie ever, was shot by Kovacs the same year he did Easy Rider. For Christ's sake.
I seem to remember that connection being made before.
Yes, because both men worked on the incredibly strange creatures who blah 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 blah, blah. Which is not directed by this
Nick
man.
Cage.
Nevertheless, these men were having extremely good careers before Dennis Hopper preyed upon them and indoctrinated them into making classic cinema.
Yeah, that's... You pray it doesn't happen to even your enemies, you know.
Oh, when that Hopper gets his claws in you. So, yeah, it's fair to say that Adamson got by all right in the 1960s. Then the 70s happened.
Yeah.
And struggling to find work by 1975, he gets convinced by his old distributor friend, Sam Sherman, to direct some softcore porn.
As we all wish we could.
That's the friend that you need in that moment. Just be like, look, mate, isn't it time? Haven't you put it off long enough? You need to make The Naughty Stewardesses, which is literally the movie he makes. Followed closely by Blazing Stewardesses.
There's a theme.
There's a subtle theme running through a lot of his work.
My mother was a stewardess.
The Three Stooges were nearly in that, but they were just too fucking old, Paul. They were so fucking old by 1975. They couldn't even bumble their way for a cameo appearance in the Naughty Stewardesses sequel.
And they wouldn't change their name to the Three Stewardesses. Which is part of the contract.
Fucking Glenn Cannon or whatever his name is beat the living shit out of them himself. Oh, God. Adamson considers his film Girls for Rent, brackets, I Spit on Your Corpse, to be a low point in his career.
Was it made after I Spit on Your Grave?
Yeah, I think so. 75? Yeah, I guess so. Around that time, certainly. Might have been literally a month later.
Okay.
He effectively retires from directing after 1978's Nurse Sherry, which is about a nurse who gets possessed by a woman who died on the operating table and is driven to seek revenge against the doctors who operated on her.
Quit while you're ahead, I guess.
Exactly. Then he goes into real estate and gets murdered by his contractor. So we're all caught up.
Fantastic. Well, I feel good. I feel better, in fact.
He mostly made biker movies, westerns, horror movies, but this is not his only blaxploitation film.
Okay.
He also made Dynamite Brothers and Black Heat.
Okay.
And with those titles in mind, having said them out loud, maybe it's time to have a little think about blaxploitation.
Let's do it. This is our new segment called Maybe It's Time to Have a Little Think About Blaxploitation. Maybe it's time to have a little think about
blaxploitation.
Yeah, there we go. We both knew the jingle ahead of time.
We knew the jingle. Yeah, we've done this many times. We've edited it out of almost every episode for being so brutally irrelevant to what we're talking about. Nevertheless.
Offensively so.
Yes, this is a rightly controversial subgenre of action film, I think, that featured black leads, typically in crime stories, but also westerns and horror. It started in the 70s as an attempt to attract black audiences to city centre theatres. Because what they found is that white people moved out of in Detroit, you see this, like, white people moved to the suburbs.
Yeah, okay. It's the only place that's happened.
Well, yeah, that's the one place that happened. Leaving largely black sort of central populations, and so movie theaters weren't working, just, showing Glen or Glenda all day long, so they needed new attractions.
Which worked until then. That filled theatres for decades.
And then noticing the success of movies like Sweetback's Badass Song by Melvin Van Peebles and Shaft. Well, no, they capitalize on Sweetback with Shaft, and then that caused the whole thing. And literally in like a 6-year period, they made like 200 of these things.
Wow, okay. So they're going to be good.
It's insane. It's tricky, though, because it is representation and an attempt by many of the creators to challenge traditional black roles in Hollywood at that time, which would have been slaves, servants, butlers, sidekicks, or villains.
Yeah.
So it is that. It is an attempt also, though, to sleazily capitalize on white curiosity of black stereotypes, because it does perpetuate various stereotypes.
Yeah.
It depends on the particular movie, and it depends on the director of that movie, but you can't necessarily overlook the importance if you just see it as everything, even if you have to just see it as everything that American cinema had to overcome and outgrow on its journey to much broader and perhaps more authentic representations.
Yeah.
Again, it's tricky, because people just wanted to make a movie about life as he saw it.
Yeah.
That's what Sweetback, was to him, even though it's, also a cheesy action movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also bleak as well. It's quite bleak as the thing.
Yeah.
Shaft is less bleak, but it's because it's a studio movie that they made to like capitalize on all of this. So, yeah. You have to take it movie by movie, which brings us to Black Samurai.
You have to, I guess part of a movement is familiarizing people with the fundamentals, even if the fundamentals are stereotypes or...
Yeah, if people in this case is like white mainstream audiences, then it's like, okay, we're going to make people see these kinds of stories, and then we can... Because, the 90s is where you start to see... 80s and 90s is where you start to see John Singleton, Spike Lee, Menace to Society comes out. That's where, and it's still crime stories, and they're still definitely infused with some of the spirit of blaxploitation, but it's actual, social realist. This is what it's really like, kind of without the sensationalism.
When people go, oh, do you know what? I thought I'd never get tired of blaxploitation, but you know what?
Yeah, but a big thing we talk about, in representation, is not just having tragedy models, though, and actually celebrating black joy.
Yes.
And in some of these movies, there's quite a lot of black joy going on.
Gotta say, tragedy. I mean, tragedy in all the blaxploitation movies I've seen too, mostly before white people. And that's good.
Yes, absolutely. It's about standing up to the man an awful lot. So, yeah, it's interesting stuff. So, This particular film is based on a novel by Mark Alden, who himself is an African-American novelist who had a black belt in karate and aikido, which not enough novelists
No.
have, I don't think.
No.
Greatly improve.
Everyone still looks to Hemingway as the ultimate macho writer. And we're not looking at this guy whose name I've forgotten already.
Exactly, mate. Lost to history, by which I mean there's a box covering that part of my notes where it's written, so I can't.
Paul won't
don't
tell
know
me
who it is,
again.
mate.
Yeah. Oh well.
The screenplay, however, is by B. Redick. This is the
Nice.
only film critic of B. Redick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Well, watch this space.
watch this space. It's definitely it's definitely Kelly. It's definitely lead actor Jim Kelly. But
Yeah. Who just said the lines and then they wrote it down. Somebody wrote it down afterwards on napkins.
see, we had a script.
Yeah. You can see that napkin, that series of napkins today in down this dark alley.
It should be said, although I wrote this before my notes, and frankly, it barely seems relevant now. But yes, there really was a man named Yasuke who was of African origin and served as a samurai in the service of Nobunaga Oda. This film is not based on that.
No, is there another? I think there's another. There's another film or series or something about this.
Yasuke's life has been covered in some detail and used as like a launching point for some rather fanciful things, all of which is good stuff.
Like a lot of historical movies. And
oh fuck yeah! Absolutely.
unlike The Last Samurai, which we all know is 100% fact.
100% fact. As discovered by Tom Cruise himself. That's right. He's a brilliant researcher.
Yeah, and he was the first one who found that this guy had sex with this Japanese woman, and went
and
back
it was good,
and
very
won her
good.
over. Yeah, and it was hot. They said.
It said, and it says right here that a horse has to kick a guy right in the fucking nuts in the background of shot. It says that, yeah. Can I see it? No.
Can you read ancient Japanese? Well, no, but this isn't ancient Japan. Then Tom Cruise kills him.
Just fucking killed him with a jet fighter he had. Unbelievable, the injustice of the whole thing.
Anyone else want to challenge my research? No.
What, mate? Can't hear you over the engines.
Can't hear you over the fucking historiography. Just wanted to
Get
work
my
that word
fucking
in.
bibliography, you bitch. The film stars Jim Kelly. Shortly after his breakout role in Enter the Dragon, formerly he was one of the most decorated karate champions in the world, and he opened his own dojo. He was also a professional tennis player, and he could bench press a lot. He looked really good in most outfits.
Yeah, he's a cool motherfucker.
He's a cool motherfucker.
I'm glad he gets to put his tennis skills to use in this.
So he does. Hurrah! Needless to say, critics were not pleased, I assume, because I couldn't actually find any professional reviews of this movie, but hey, maybe they loved it. History just didn't care to remember.
It's what got Mark Kermode into criticism.
I've got to celebrate this. Public, though, never intended to experience anything like this ever again. Plankton Rules on IMDb in 2009. For some reason, the fact he was reviewing this in 2009 really hit. Simpler time.
Oh, we were mere 20-something year olds.
Yeah. Entering into our third year of university, meeting for the first time.
Yeah?
And,
yeah.
It was all ahead of us.
2009 is a terrible year.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, yes, this movie stinks. But before you start ragging on it too much, understand that for this director, Al Adamson, this is a very good film and a massive improvement over his usual films. So while this movie is, of course, quite bad,
I repeat,
at least it's better than many of Adamson's other Z-grade films, such as Dracula vs. Frankenstein, Brain of Blood, and Hell's Bloody Devils.
Oh, thanks, Mum.
Do better, son. I love that. You've just got to remember how shit this guy is to really be impressed by what he manages here.
They're right,
Everyone's awake. The camera faces the right way.
You can't hear him constantly masturbating.
The angry yelling is cut to a bare minimum. It's really quite the spectacle.
Fuck.
Now, we do have a two-man from At Long Last Love, but no three-mans, which is a shame.
Oh, just like a side guy from At Long Last Love, or
just some dude. Oh no, wait, it was actually Burt Reynolds. He was in this.
Wow, he is Burt Reynolds as Jim Kelly.
There is a fucking dude with a Burt Reynolds style mustache, but I'm pretty sure it's not Burt Reynolds.
And unless Burt Reynolds is literally amazing.
I can roleplay so well. I can just make my chin disappear.
I'm now a tall Mexican man.
Black Samurai has 4.7 on IMDb and 86% on Google. That's all I can say with any authority.
What a thing. What a thing.
What a very fine thing. Jesus Christ. So, Paul, you turkey.
Fuck.
What's one? Oh, fuck, I didn't write a second bit. What's one thing about Black Samurai that made you want to awkwardly climb over some buildings?
It starts off, Paul, one. It would almost very specifically starts off with a newscaster talking about international relations. It's a lovely British man with a lot of class. And
that's so reassuring. We've undermined the democracy of several different sovereign nations. Oh, fantastic.
And they're finally coming round, bloody Johnny Foreigner. Hooray.
They're coming round to our way of doing things and abandoning some of their silly customs.
silly customs like caring for one another.
The right to self-rule. Subjugation shall come naturally to these folks eventually.
Once we invent some sort of race science. Anyway. Or
who's going to save us from the terrible perils of this empire? It's British hero!
Fine, I'll do it tomorrow.
All right, let's start the movie. And
okay.
I mean, how bad could the Orientalism of this film really be? I don't know. Oh no, listen to the music. It's a Gilbert and Sullivan musical.
That's right. We're in Hong Kong, but that's the only.
We're in fucking Hong Kong, the home of the samurai.
It's not the first thing that makes me think of the Shaw Brothers. And then, yeah, there's a Chinese lady during the back of a car as wonderfully sophisticated newscaster declares everything that we joked about, but is kind of implied. And she's
being followed.
She's being followed by some wrong-uns probably, and she goes to a swimming pool.
Scowly folk.
She goes to relax by a swimming pool. This will shake him. This will shake him loose. And we get a wonderful bit of symphonic whiplash as we cut from
get used to that
heist scene to relaxing by the pool, back to heist scene, back to pool, heist scene, pool, heist scene, heist scene, heist scene, pool, and then the two converge. And oh no, she's been kidnapped.
Yep, as these men with a machine gun sneak around the house. They could definitely be way more assertive than they really are being right now. But yes, they and their sinister music sneak in and karate everyone into submission. You know, we can't let anyone know that we can't afford bullets for this thing. Well, they can. Fuck, they shoot everyone.
Oh my god.
They just wanted the humiliation of beating them first.
We threw him in the pool. Dumbass.
Now you're dead.
Can't even swim. Camera has to pan away. And then
she gets got.
And then we cut to where I finally found my copy of Black Samurai. The synopsis underneath perfectly describes the following scene. It is Jim Kelly, aka Robert Sands of Dragon Force or whatever they're called, is playing tennis with a lovely black girl.
Yes. Okay, this was on Wikipedia. Like, she's so hot. The Wikipedia has a one-paragraph plot description before it's just like, and then he fights a bunch of people. But that was important enough to mention, was the beautiful black woman he's playing tennis with. And this is after a credit for additional story ideas in the credit, which I love.
Fuck me. So, yeah, I don't know, but he's doing that, and the bloody feds couldn't find him.
Kelly showed up in the wrong outfit. It's a karate day, not a tennis day, Jim. Write it into the script, Johnny. Whatever Jim Kelly comes to set wearing, We write the movie around it.
Wait, Jim Kelly? I thought it was Matthew.
Damn it.
British joke.
I guess I can go into the swimming pool. Was that him? No, that was the other guy. Anyway.
I did, obviously, with the swimming pool, I got immediate, I always call him Curly Mo. That's obviously not what his name is, but diving into a pool of
Drew
snakes.
Barrymore?
No. The guy from
you mean
Stanley.
Al Green.
That's
Mo
it, yeah.
Green.
Mo
From
Green.
fucking Stanley. Yeah. Oh my god. Sublime. And
yeah.
the snakes in this.
That's true. Bloody hell. Connection. You're welcome, everybody. Sign up to our Patreon. And, but the bloody feds come along and they're like, hey, I think we're going to use the word dig sincerely, and we'll just try and skirt over that.
Oh, I fucking love these guys. And it's like, yeah, look at our files. We've got sinister photos of these people. And his name is Janicot, which is an old word for the devil. And that's enough for him to get on our books.
He's what we had instead of the Mandarin. And he calls himself the Warlock. Well, that's pretty shit and lame, isn't it? It is, but he's also a gangster, so we'll just have to try and overlook that. Come on, mate.
He's dangerous, okay? Just... His name. Yeah,
I know.
Just try and get excited about it, okay? You're going to kick his ass.
It's just... All right. It's just fucking ridiculous. I know it is, but, what can you do?
Anyway, this all sounds really boring and dumb. Well, there's a cute chick involved. I'm not hurting for cute chicks, okay? I'm Jim Kelly, tennis and martial arts superstar. Well, your girlfriend's been kidnapped. Oh, yeah, I'll get involved then.
Yeah. Why didn't you just tell me that immediately?
Yeah, probably lead with that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alfred Hitchcock was there and he told us it would be boring, so we...
I don't know. Just wanted to show you this nice picture of this attractive lady. It's good.
It is good, though. Can I keep that? You can. Great. Okay.
I'd like to use it when my girlfriend's not in danger.
Where are we going next? All right, let me just hook you up with
the desert.
Not in shape to be a police officer, who tells you that there's a lovely dinner party going on. It's a mariachi and stripper double bill. And
yes, it is, but not yet. They drive out to the desert first in order to have a James Bond style car chase, where he uses some of his gadgets, the true way of the samurai. And the bad guy's car gently rolls off the road and then explodes.
Yes.
In fact, there's two fights between where we are in your thing, because then he goes home to practice some of his martial arts.
And it's the best
fucking Looney Tune characters come in.
Surprise, Mr. Sin. Don't move. Don't even open your eyes. My friend and I enjoyed watching you. Too bad your fists aren't as fast as bullets.
It's the best fight of the movie. This is two scenes in a row where there are these wild hard cuts in the middle of action to only emphasize how crazy and brutal the fight scenes are. The car, which sort of it starts rolling down the hill, and then the next shot is on fire, and then this one of the guys that invades his home gets kicked, and then hard cut, and he's like falling slowly through a window. But you have that boxy kick sound effect, and then immediately before your brain's registered, there's a falling through the window sound effect. It's wonderful.
It's very good.
Shoots
yes. Cut to Haiti, where the rest of this movie was filmed, and mariachi band and exotic stripping.
And Jim Kelly shows up.
Very horny music, by the way.
Very horny music. Not the mariachi band. They're mariachi straight up. But as soon as they set down their instruments, we are led to believe through editing that it is immediately followed up by a stripper who doesn't even want to smile, mate. Doesn't make you angry. So anyway.
She's extremely happy about all of this.
Oh yeah.
But our big villain, the main villain of the film, Rob Brydon. he's here showing off the dancing girl to the mustache villain, to Burt Reynolds. And it's so hot the way she's awkwardly trying to get that bra down past her hips.
She strips in ways that other strippers can only dream of thinking about, and she
in their worst dreams.
She's very much the stripper, the anti-stripper, and Jim Kelly comes in and goes, right, I've got a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, awkwardly like rock on the balls of my feet, looking around while I talk to this woman called Sin. Give her very offhand, non-committal questions whilst looking visibly nervous. Give her an obviously fake name, and then go and introduce myself to the warlock. Gets recognised immediately, and then give the line. It's something like he won't. What is it? It's something like,
"We'll meet again, Janicot. Can you believe that?"
Get him!
And then he runs. It's a very well thought out plan.
Well, fortunately, they weren't counting on his ability to kick a guy and then run away. So he does that.
They never do that, and
No.
egg on their face, really.
And we're revealed to be in a castle this whole time.
In daylight. In daytime.
In daylight, yep. Yep, be prepared to be very surprised at what time of day it is in the future. He punches some guys in the dick for a while, and then fights some little people who show up.
Yeah.
And it was in Jim Kelly's contract, we don't ask. And then eventually he manages to get away.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Rob Brydon decides to make an example of one of the men who failed to manage to subdue Jim Kelly by feeding him to mango, I think, because at this stage we don't see quite what happens to him.
Yeah, it is. And there we are introduced to Chekhov's cage of snakes.
Chekhov's cage snake.
What I like about that guy was when the Warlock King said, we're going to have to make an example of somebody. That Jobsworth is fucking nodding along. He nods in response. He's like, yeah, great idea, boss.
Yeah.
What, me? Oh, this isn't why I nodded.
This is bullshit.
This is ridiculous. This is flim-flam. So he's gone. He's dead, Jim.
Of the highest order.
And
yes. So, yeah, it turns out the attractive lady is actually Rob Brydon's girl.
Yeah.
And he's not happy about all of her stuff that she's getting up to.
Yeah.
And so has a vague threat of her.
But his woman, Toki,
Oh, yes.
is kept at Chavez's place. Yeah.
Yes, because well, Kelly meets up with he meets up with his contact, the out of shape police officer, so that he can read out some words that have been written down for him to say.
Yes.
Hey, cool it, man. I blow my sauces and we ain't got no more sauces.
Hey, cool it, man. If I blow my sauces, we're both out of luck. Do you dig? And Jim Kelly does dig that, so...
He does. He's all about digging it.
So he drives 5 meters away and is immediately attacked by a different group of guys. And he leaves his car for some reason, and he runs away for a bit and then remembers that there's really no need to, so he just beats them all up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can do this.
I forgot.
Yeah, I'm no weekend warrior. And
He's pure McNamara, mate.
And so he goes to Chavez's house, which is...
Is it that? Or he goes to an island of some sorts, where he's been told that this is going to happen. And he gets his jetpack out.
I thought this is Chavez's house.
Okay. Who's Chavez again? Is he Mustache Man rather than Rob Brydon?
Yeah.
Okay, he's Mustache Man. That makes sense. So he awkwardly and obviously jetpacks over the entire island, being nice and conspicuous. And then he lands, he meets another little person who's able to disarm him.
Yeah.
Then he's attacked by men in tribal outfits
Yes.
in a scene that I feel in no way qualified to dissect. And then
not for
eventually he
us.
just kills everyone and leaves.
Yeah. Oh, well, it turns out Chavez didn't have her there. How do you know? What scene didn't we see?
Yeah, cut to him driving in the middle of the night, having not infiltrated the house, and he gets a call from awkward policeman, and sorry, actually they've got her in this other guy's house. Sorry.
What was the?
Oh fuck though! Zoom out, and he's at gunpoint by Rob Brydon, who's very cunningly told him exactly where he can find the girlfriend he's after.
Yeah, exactly, and even more cunningly, he knew that Jim Kelly would know that he was being duped. But he'd come anyway, and that's the magic of the Warlock King. We'll see more of that soon.
That wonderful magic. He drives to... Oh boy, what's going on here then? Some kind of tribal dance situation.
Yes.
So, well, never mind about that. He enters into the house and happens upon... Oh boy, okay. Got a bit of an attack scene going on between him and the Brydon's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But luckily, Kelly's here to interrupt all of this, and he kicks a weird-looking character actor for ages. Burt Reynolds.
It's amazing the skin he can slip into at will. So
he manages to get him.
It's like William Fichtner.
He Fichtners him, and then there's an awkwardly paced, awkwardly directed, awkwardly flirty interrogation scene between him and Bruce Forsyth's girlfriend. No, sorry, I called him Bruce Forsyth originally before I recognised he looked more like Rob Brydon.
Yeah.
So please
Necklace Brydon.
I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. He's wearing a huge 70s collar that does manage to obscure the fact that he has a neck, and it's an interesting look. So he goes.
He finds out. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know.
He finds out that she's in the tower. She's going to be in the tower.
Oh no.
And then we cut to hours, weeks, days later, like whatever the fuck. We cut to later, and Rob Brydon has weird-looking character actor Burt Reynolds killed in a car explosion. I'm so glad we got that cleared up.
He did say halfway through the movie, Paul, that it was time for shadows to go. So
he did say that about half a movie ago. And even though he was just in the last scene getting beaten up by our main character, doesn't mean he couldn't at some other stage be blown up in his car. Anyway, back to the past for the next immediate scene, and he's going up the... Oh, no, it's not the next immediate scene because it's daylight. Well, fuck me. I guess he went home after he found out where she is and then came out the next day.
Got to rest. Not an animal.
Oh, but somehow they knew he was coming. If it's going to turn out to be Rob Brydon's girlfriend, I'm going to be so mad at her. He was really nice to her.
He was so nice to her. As he pointed out, he could have downed her with a single punch, and he didn't.
He didn't do that. He showed that restraint, and that's a gent. So, yeah, Kelly gets captured, and even though he's easily fought his way out of much worse, he gives himself up.
Yeah.
So he's tied up at the evil base along with unconvincing cop man and his girlfriend. They're all tied up together.
Who is very much the Natalie Portman of this.
Yeah, it's Attack of the Clones.
and yeah, they break out. Oh no, because Sin takes a sweet time taking a sword to Jim Kelly, and Jim Kelly's realised that the ropes weren't tied around him properly, so it's very easy to get them off.
No, they were, but he had a tiny blowtorch in his pocket.
No, I know, but I was doing a joke.
It's not as funny as the fact he's got a fucking miniature pocket blowtorch we haven't seen before up his butt.
Yeah, and that's not the last time he uses it. And he breaks free, fights his way free into cut with a few shots of Rob Brydon going, "Ah."
Yeah, looking really hopeful, and then it all goes to shit. He overpowers Brydon's girlfriend, who awkwardly dubs in a threat against him. And then, he kicks some more weird-looking character actors for a bit, whilst his girlfriend fights with Rob Brydon's girlfriend, eventually killing over a knife.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. So there's that. Now, it's hard. Have you written down the sequence of events here? Because it's
I've got some stream of consciousness things as they occurred. He bothers various people slightly until they spit out the ketchup they've got in their mouths. It is worth pointing out that during all of this fighting is some of the very best audio work we've ever heard in a motion picture. Some of the best mixing. It's absolutely superb. He's failed to beat up Kelly with several men as Rob Brydon. So now he sicks his vulture puppet on him. And Kelly eventually lightly fondles it into submission.
He's seen Donald Pleasance do it. Is it time to have that Scooby-Doo chase down the tunnels underneath the castle?
Not yet.
Oh,
a few more men awkwardly get pushed over, and a shirt gets removed as naturally as Padme in Attack of the Clones, so we've got another link there.
Oh, good.
And finally, yes, it gets down to... Oh, no, he's got his second in command, the dragon guy.
Is it Bones?
He's going to have a proper fight with him. Yes, I think it's Bones.
Yeah, it's Bones.
So it is time for the most awkward fight scene ever seen in a movie, which I still find more engaging than the fight at the end of Black Panther. So
or Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
And this is a wonderful scene.
Including trash talk.
Yes, this is why it's a wonderful scene because he was watching this play out in the director was clearly watching this play out in silence with no score behind it and thinking it's not enough. Something's missing. Something's missing. I know. Let's ADR in some trash talk that happens when the character saying the line isn't visible on screen.
Yes,
for obvious reasons.
So good.
You think you bad, huh, Bones? Come on, look at me, chump. I'm gonna jab you to death, chump. Come on. Let me see what you can do, muscle man. Watch this footwork. Watch me now. Come on, muscle man. You can't fight, sissy. Come on, sissy.
Don't call me sissy. How do you like that?
I don't want to denigrate.
Proper dark place.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to denigrate everything by saying it's Dark Place, but it's just this is what Dark Place has seen.
This is what Dark Place does.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It is fucking great. And then I thought, it would have been better with just silence, wouldn't it? Oh, well.
Yes. And then we get to the bit where they decide to try and remake my least favourite part of Enter the Dragon, where they're in a maze and he's following the bad guy, But fortunately, it does get livened up by the fact he gets thrown into a snake pit and decides to get out his little blowtorch so he can, I don't know, bother them a bit before
just
he
show
uses
them.
it to escape.
You see?
Yeah.
Don't want to come near this, do you? You don't want to get on fire.
I've mastered fire. What have you done? That's what I thought.
That's what, damn suckers.
Shitty snakes.
It also helps that a lot of their movements up and down these corridors are done in a wide shot, so you can see his jerky,
That's the Adamson way.
His jerky movements in relation to a completely still surrounding environment. But eventually, he breaks out and then he throws Rob Brydon in the cage. How ironic from whence he came, and now he's out. Oh, there are some more bad guys. No, there aren't. There's a grenade.
Yes. he reunites and they pick up exactly where they left off, awkwardly kissing each other. And someone says the line, I think the bad guys have had enough. And then they just oh no, it's the line,
what about the others?
I think they had enough. Here comes some more.
And then he throws his thing, which now functions as a grenade.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Because why not?
The end of the movie. Oh Christ. So, Paul, what did you think of Black Samurai?
The main thing that I took from this, Paul, is that it does make a difference when a production company director and writer are telling you that somebody is cool, rather than the stars themselves telling you that they're cool. Because I did think of the McNamaras a lot during this, and it's mostly because both films have a lot of whack fight scenes in them.
Yeah.
But at least when in Black Samurai, the scuffling and tussling was over and it was time for Jim Kelly to start kicking people. He'd kick people, with that Bruce Lee ferocity, and they didn't connect in the exact same way, but there was an intensity there. Whereas with the McNamaras, these two dudes who just go around complaining and moaning about weekend warriors and then beating up bullies from their high school days in slow motion. It lends Black Samurai charm that was otherwise missing from anything that McNamaras have ever done. And
absolutely.
And Jim Kelly himself, I feel like Jim Kelly was the point of this movie. Everything else was secondary.
Definitely a star vehicle.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's baffling as such because it's a Bond movie. It's ripping off, I think, Live and Let Die with its cultists and everything else, and it's all very skin deep, and misinformed in the most part. And some of it hasn't aged very well. We do get some, in particular, the trash talk scene. We do get some F-bombs and, the very nasty F word that I don't enjoy at all.
Yeah.
And we
can say it's not fuck, just homophobic slurs. And
it's bad. Some of that, and then some of the tribal West stuff, and like the little people is just it's very surreal in places, but. For the most part, this is not blaxploitation as I understood it, as being like a sort of cartoonish depiction of kind of urban black life, filled with crime and various references to various other things.
Yeah.
There are moments like that, in particular in the dialogue of just Jim Kelly calling everyone sucker and turkey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, this is just an utterly surreal kind of what counted as a mainstream action movie in the 70s and a low-budget parody of that.
Yeah,
and as such, it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. I'd say there's a charm in being able to see the strings.
Yes.
In this one.
God, yeah, and it makes so much sense. This is the Blood of Dracula's Castle guy, and this is 15 years after, and he's still not mastered any new camera techniques. Everything is in a flat wide, which is great when Jim Kelly knows what he's doing. But so often you can tell he's pulling the punch because there's just no style behind the direction. Enter the Dragon. Oh, who's the guy who directed Enter the Dragon? Oh, shit. He did a bunch of them.
It was Jim Narrative, I think.
It was Jim Narrative, and he's great. You've got to respect him. I'm going to get his name because he's the guy who then edited, somewhat disrespectfully, the cut of Game of Death together.
True professional.
Sorry if that's not true. Robert Klaus. Yes, I wanted to say Clouseau, and I didn't know why. It's Robert Klaus. So he obviously, because it's not enough to just look good on camera, I think. Because, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, these guys all know what they're doing. They look fantastic, but you do have to have decent camera work there. Otherwise, you will just be able to tell it's a bunch of guys tussling.
Yeah, it's the problem with the static wide frame when you see him ducking and weaving by himself as he's moving down a corridor. The camera needs to be dynamic. It needs to move with the man. So
yes,
otherwise, seeing it in relation to a completely static environment makes it look ridiculous. And you do see the punches being pulled, and you see things like my favorite shot, which is him kicking the guy, the home invader, and it's kick, that sound effect, and then rather than have a shot that emphasizes the impact of that, before that shot is done, it cuts to him slowly backing himself through a window with this distorted glass breaking sound. You know exactly what they've done, and it looks ridiculous, but it's still it's wonderful for it. It's such a wonderful thing to behold, and it does lend itself a kind of, it makes the action seem really frenetic and hectic, in spite of the fact that it's very silly. And that's for the most part. There are quite a few moments during where I found my attention wandering.
Sure. There's some dull moments, and considering it's got nothing really other than its action scenes. There are no there are a couple of dialogue scenes that I think are going to stick with me for being so bad they're good. But there's no really dramatic moment of there's no memorable sequences really.
No.
As a so bad it's good movie, there's plenty to keep you entertained.
Yeah.
As an actual in and of itself good action movie, the action is a little too much. There's a lot of scenes, some of which aren't very memorable, some of which are better than others. It just doesn't quite know how to make the action engaging. It just thinks it'll be enough to just throw it at you. And the last line of the movie, which I'll mention only when we quickfire, kind of does sum up the kind of spirit of the thing, which is that this was made to be super disposable, with no real mind towards legacy. And that is in its own way interesting. It's interesting to see what people considered to be the sort of bare minimum to get butts and seats back in 1977.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. It's
I didn't regret it. I wouldn't have regretted buying this, especially if it was like a B feature with some other crappy horror film. I would have enjoyed my evening.
Yes, and I assume you did enjoy your evening, and your evening is still going.
Oh my god, it's just going to get better and better.
With me on the scene, for sure.
Oh, maybe we should really put that to the test by quick firing.
Let's do that.
Hooray!
Quick fire.
Hong Kong looked cool.
Hong Kong did look cool.
I love the street scenes of Hong Kong. Just, it was just I don't know, just like seeing little shops and like signs, and it just seemed like it was really a cool thing to consider as Hong Kong in the 70s. Yeah,
and going into the opening credits, the saturated colours, very Shaw Brothers. It reminded me of, those experiences of watching very, very early Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah. Dragon Fist and such.
Yeah. And that was great. And the music itself, I think it's worth a nod to the music. I don't know how much of it was just a demo reel on their Casio, but some of the stuff was so fucking good. Some of the chase and action music, some of the tension, especially when he's just before he gets thrown in the jail cell at the end, when he's looking around for Rob Brydon. Just some really cool, orchestral swells, and of course the Black Samurai theme was just very catchy.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. One of the first silly moments that happens I just loved is they get to the feds get to Jim Kelly's house and he's playing tennis, and there's a phone outside on the tennis rink off the hook, and the guy comes over and picks it up and puts the receiver down and says, "That's why we've been getting a busy signal." That's so dumb. Yeah. Why was it outside? How long has it been off the hook? when they give the profile of Rob Brydon's girlfriend, I think they give her name as Flossie Janicott, which is pretty damn good.
That's pretty 70s, I'm gonna say.
That's pretty pinching, mate.
Put that in a time capsule.
Flossie Janicott.
Blow the future's minds, mate. That and Tamagotchis. What are they about?
Oh, they don't know what to make of it.
Oh, let's bomb the past. Let's tenet them. So, look, there are some fistfights here and some kicks and that look great for not cutting.
Yeah.
And I'm always thankful for those. And it's mostly when Jim Kelly goes, oh, fuck this, and starts kicking people and does the same kick over and over again. But if you can do one kick, that's really good, that's so good that it knocks people out with one kick, you only do that kick.
It's like when you play a video game and you've got the one move that just fucks everything up, and you do just think, well, I don't want to use this for everything. I feel like I'm missing out on some of the gameplay here, but this guy does need to be dead.
Yeah, like I don't like playing against people who play Tekken by holding the down button and pressing X over and over again while I'm trying to do all my cool Paul Phoenix moves. But it works, and by God, they get results.
I hate them for that.
Doesn't work when you're playing Force, though, you fucking clowns.
Speaking of the good action, Jim Kelly practicing with the sword and the nunchucks, like in the sort of, the Bruce Lee iconic scene where you've got to show your main guy working out on his own in the bedroom, and this is just before he gets attacked. I have got kicking the guy through the window also from that. It's pretty amazing.
It's very good. That entire scene, it had, because he's got his eyes closed, and the first of many little people holds a gun to his head, and what's the line? It's something like, Too bad your fists aren't as fast as bullets, and he's got this.
Yeah.
This
that
voice.
guy was the Looney Tune guy.
Yeah,
his voice
yeah.
is insane.
And then his fists are as fast as bullets, and then it's just
Incredible.
It's like Drive, Paul. Can see where Nicholas Winding Refn got it from. That whole thing, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
LA generally looks cool, but it just looks sun-baked and cool. And
which parts were in LA? Was that when they go to his house to recruit
maybe
him?
To be honest, I don't know if it was LA. I just assumed it was.
A lot of it was Haiti.
Okay.
They shot quite a bit of the movie in Haiti. I don't know if there was a favourable tax situation out there.
Okay, just like Haiti, but wherever it was, it looked like LA on screen. LA don't look like LA on screen.
You gotta use
Haiti. But it looked very cool and sun-baked and that.
Yeah.
And I like sun-baked.
I mean, speaking of animal hijinks, the fucking vulture was just this giant bird they had access to, who is hanging out at the club when the
mariachi strip club
band in the mariachi strip club. The vulture is just hanging out there, and then later on he's in the movie, and it's really cool. They had such a large bird.
Yeah,
for a small budget, they managed a very large bird.
That's such a large bird for such a small budget. I know, that's what I thought.
The budget to bird ratio on this is off the hook.
It's off the fucking charts, mate. I really appreciated that, and it got me thinking of surely the Skeksis. The Skeksis were modeled on vultures, because they've got the head is below the shoulders of this bird, and it's just skulking. It looked great.
They did.
And unfortunately, the fight with the vulture and Jim Kelly reminded me a bit of Paul Blart Mall Blart with the with the bird fight.
Of course. Well, I mean, it was just as tender because Jim Kelly was trying not to hurt this bird, and so he's just kind of like nudging it.
I don't want to kick you, sucker.
And then in the subsequent fight, one guy is like walking around. I don't know how to describe this quite. He's doing like his martial art fist kind of things, but he's like flanking and like maneuvering with it, like going around doorways. One of the bodyguards is, and it's very funny and dumb.
Dark Place does this again.
Hands.
It's Matt Berry's character.
As if they were a gun.
It's Matt Berry as Sanchez. He jumps around a corner and karate hands. Fuck, oh god, it's so funny.
It really is.
at one point, I think it's immediately after this this gathering, Jim Kelly and someone chasing him do these pretty wicked parquet floor skids.
Ooh,
They do. It's like when you're 10 and you're in your socks at someone's house and they've got a wood floor. Don't mind if I do. Just endanger my life here.
When the guy with the mustache, there's a scene where he gets punched and he like flies backwards into a lift.
Yeah.
And that's all he's got to do is just stumble backwards into a lift and hit the back of the lift, and he just does so with such gusto that it's quite incredible.
That might be the one that I've got next, which is what a guy kicks and then falls through a door, and he's outside.
Yeah.
And Jim Kelly's just come round a corner and kicks him, and in one shot
That
he
could
just
be it.
he just flings himself through a door that a door that's made of like sugar paper because it just shatters.
Just that.
It's great.
Yeah.
The jetpack pool looked incredibly nerdy,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was great.
Yeah.
But it's probably like how it would really look. Just lame.
Yeah, it did. But then also some of the shots are obviously hilarious, but some of them are quite good. Like some of them are fairly good of him like swooping through the trees.
Yeah, like
I kind of liked it.
In a way, it looked good. It just looked like someone on like, MythBusters built like today we're going to build our own jetpack. and then they do it
to test all of this movie to see how practical any of it is.
And then that guy's got his like beret taped to his head or something. It looks like that, but then
Jamie Heineman.
That's it. And then he lands and he takes off the jetpack and his tracksuit almost looks like it's velour. and then straight away he's back to business Kelly. Business Jim.
Business Kelly is what his friends knew him as. I liked his purple car. He had a cool purple car. Yeah, and also just in order to catch up, he, at one point, I don't know who it is, I think it's when he's doing this scrapyard fight. He just grabs a guy by the shoulder and punches him in the stomach a lot. Just with the one hand, it was just very good, the sort of very quick succession punching.
Nice. Good stuff. During like this weird tribal ceremony that the warlock has going, there's a wonderful shot, and the camera is it's an upward angle.
Yeah.
So the camera is beneath the warlock as he's standing on his podium, and like nerdy Rob Brydon goes, "The warlock has commanded the gods," and then there's a puff of smoke that comes up from beneath the camera, beneath the shot, and it looks it's the cheapest looking thing. It's the most flimsy ass fucking practical effect, and it really hammers home how truly lame the warlock is.
Love that. Oh Christ! And speaking of him, there was a moment where he's speaking with his guy, whose name is Victor, but it's the Burt Reynolds guy, and Burt Reynolds says something like,
"Victor, you had better get a grip on yourself. I'll handle sand."
"Oh, I would love that. You do that."
"Victor, I had better get rid of you."
Yeah.
Just so weird.
And then that's the lead up to the car explosion. You see, it's all there. Just check the files, mate.
I gave you all the pieces.
It's not my fault that I'm a derpy snowman. When Jim Kelly is interrogating Sin, Rob Brydon's wife.
"You wouldn't hurt me."
"Don't bet your black ass."
He has the line, "Don't bet your black ass."
Yeah.
Which is great.
But then something, also a very similar moment where she's just like, "I was hoping you'd be my white knight. Never the white knight, baby."
Yeah.
it was smacked of the Passenger 57 always bet on black moment.
Oh, yeah. One of the appeals is Jim Kelly is good at delivering those lines. And
he's
he looks like
good.
a fucking cool guy when he's doing it.
"I like to think of you as my white knight. Come to my rescue."
Never the white knight, baby.
Yeah. Sorry, my next one is very relevant to that because at one point she says to him, "Your arrogance will soon end." And he says, "We'll see."
No, it won't.
No, it won't. I'm going to be arrogant forever. I'm going to be the most arrogant person.
Don't know the meaning of the word. Arrogant, what? There's a very amusing takedown of four guys with a spear when he smashes them all in the face as they're running towards him.
All four in a line running towards him.
You two go to his left and we'll go to his right. And then we'll figure out what happens after. And then he smashes them all, like clotheslines them with the spear in one go. And then when they're on the floor, he just very slowly hits them all in the face repeatedly with opposite ends of the spear. With obviously with the prerequisite. Cuts to one guy spitting out his ketchup, and then they're done. They're dead probably.
They're all dead.
It's very good.
Don't worry about them. Just before he does that, he goes to untie. The bad actor, the bad cop dude.
Yeah.
And he just says,
Yeah, thanks.
so fucking
thanks.
blunt. Oh, cheers, mate.
We're here with a child.
Well, give me a hand here, please.
Can I have a hand here? Rope.
British hero, can you actually help out?
British hero helps those who help themselves. We're all one good idea away from becoming the elite, mate.
Shouldn't have had that second pie.
Ooh.
Not before a fight. Better than that.
Doctor said I got high cholesterol, but I don't believe in foreign words. So
like Doctor.
Who played British hero?
Clive
would
Owen.
play. It'd be Clive Owen. It'd be the guy who plays Mrs. Brown.
Jesus Christ.
They're told it's a serious movie.
Why did I just close that? I found out the actor I need. And it was like, perfect, found it, close.
Goodbye, past information. I do like during the tribal ceremony, the Warlock King looking to his second in command with his face. No, it's not fair. This is my evil thing, and he's coming in and changing it with his things. Get it, Victor, get him.
Oh my god. In the final fight, Marilyn Joy is the name of the person who plays sort of Rob Brydon's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she looked pretty damn good in the catsuit doing the fighting. I thought it looked. Yeah.
Good
she
stuff.
was fairly impressive.
Excellent.
Very good legs.
Good legs.
Good legs.
Betty good
Jim
legs.
Kelly had good legs too. There's a lot of good legs on display, and I'm all for it.
Hey, Paul.
Oh?
Kelly. 2 of the letters in that are in the word legs.
Oh shit! And they kind of look like little legs.
Yeah, that was an Easter egg. That was a reference to the wider the
brilliant.
leg verse. I do have one from earlier actually, which I didn't see for some reason. Clearly, I was just thinking too much about legs. Where the flashback of Jim Kelly and his girlfriend Toki, of them going through that park and kissing. It looks like a montage where every scene takes place in the exact same place. And I enjoyed that very much.
You gotta love that.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. The awkward dubbing fight is amazing, but it ends with him grabbing both of his hands, pulling them back, and putting his knee into his back, and like it looks like he's gonna try and pull his arms off, but then we just get the ADR line.
Sucker, you'll never walk again.
Yeah, and it's not like sucker, you'll never walk. It's like sucker, I believe you'll find you won't be walking again after this.
Oh god.
My last one then.
Oh yeah.
When he's chasing Rob Brydon down the wide shot hallways, he just yells out, "Give up! You might as well give up."
Like DJ from Street Fighter. Yeah, stop, you haven't got a chance.
Yeah. Just give up, pause. You might as well give up.
Yeah.
Oh, go on. Did you
That is amazing.
Did you hear me? Don't think you heard me.
Oh, nice staircase the guy runs up at one stage. He's running down it and it's just a very nice looking staircase.
Oh, that's good.
And then finally, oh yeah, it is just Jim Kelly's line, the last line of the movie after he blows up the 4 guys. He just says,
I guess that's the end, huh?
Bye, everyone.
Just incredible.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's, yeah. Unbelievable stuff. And that's going to do it around here.
It will.
What we've got to say. But I can't help but wonder about the OG team.
OG team.
By Okay. Nothing on Twitter or Patreon, but over on Facebook we have Jennifer Soanes.
Love you, Jenny.
Star player Jennifer Soanes.
MVP.
Unfortunately, no, I have not seen this gem. The style does remind me of Cowboy Bebop episode Mushroom Samba. This is definitely a good thing. It's a hell of a poster, it's got to be said. With, I count 1, 2, 3, 4 Jim Kellys. Fighting various people, including it looks like Awkward Cop he's fighting against for some reason. That might be to play into, because I don't know how much in this movie, how much is there of sticking it to the man? Rob Brydon is a man.
He's definitely a man.
Usually the government, usually it's like the government and big business who are at fault. They usually...
Yeah,
one of many reasons
the extremes of sticking it to the man in this is leaving the phone off the hook, isn't it? When your employers, the government, come for you.
Yeah, because they. But again, it doesn't it doesn't actually feel like some sort of attempt at, what would you call it? Subverting.
Anti-establishment.
Yeah, well, it doesn't feel like an attempt to make it more establishment. It just feels like they wanted to do Enter the Dragon, and in that he gets recruited by government agents.
Yeah,
so we're just gonna do that.
Yeah, no, definitely not suggested by me as a legitimate answer.
Philosophical point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, to paraphrase, no, it doesn't have any of those things, does it?
No, it doesn't. But yes, and then we also have a cult member in the poster, a little person with a whip, and a woman tied up. So it's factually accurate. All of these things happen within the movie.
That's true.
You just won't be very happy with the results.
But you won't be able to explain to any standards agency, would you?
Although it has to be said, we enjoyed ourselves quite a bit.
That's true.
So yes, Jennifer Soanes, if you get a spare hour and 20 minutes or so, feel free to check this movie out on YouTube, where it is in its entirety.
Oh, okay. I needn't have spent hours looking for it.
Nope. Sometimes with the history hole, you've got to remember to have a go at YouTube.
Yeah. History hole is just euphemism at this stage for in the public domain. Or what people believe to be in the public domain.
I know, I fucking live for it, mate. I live for every history hole.
Me too, apparently.
And that's just about it for my history hole. So now it's time to talk about the one better thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one better thing.
You able to talk about the one better thing? I forgot the segment again.
Well, I didn't forget the segment, but I'll tell you what I did remember, Paul, that I know nothing about blaxploitation and good alternatives. So I hold up my hands and say that I'm not the kind of person that can give you an alternative within that genre or even something close by. And looking back at recommendations that I could loosely tie in with it, I've already recommended Blade. I've already recommended. I mean, you should be excited about the new one with Mahershala Ali because he's great. I haven't seen him in a while.
He is great.
But and for cool, fun action, just things I've already recommended. So it's a hard one.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky to know what to do with this one. It's tricky because obviously the blaxploitation greats are out there. You've got Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, you've got Shaft, and then you can get into the Rudy Ray Moore stuff is absolutely sublime. But it almost feels disingenuous to talk about those because this movie falls so short of being a blaxploitation movie. I recommend Blood on Satan's Blood of Dracula's Castle or whatever the hell it was called. That was a good laugh.
Yeah,
I think this
is
probably. Oh, it's hard to say if this is better. No, I think that movie was better because it was more consistently surprising. One thing I did think in this is, if you watch this movie as far as the end of the castle scene, you'll have seen almost every way in which this movie is amusing and bad. The only thing that is left for you is the ADR fight later on, which is its own special kind of mayhem.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, Blood on Dracula's Castle is more consistently crazy in its invention of how to be bad. So I'd recommend that over this, probably.
And other bad movies, obviously, again, recommended Samurai Cop before.
Yes, there is Samurai Cop vibes to this, in as much as it's utterly inexplicable the extent to which he is the black samurai.
Yes.
He's just because he knows some martial arts.
It's a very similar pitch, really, isn't it? It's just
it is kind of
Samurai Cop.
Matt Hannon instead of Jim Kelly.
Yeah. Although was Matt Hannon more of a an auteur as it was.
Well, I mean, Jim Kelly's more of a fighter. You could definitely tell that immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But the passion's there, right? So
it sure is. That's going to do it for the one better thing.
Yeah.
The one better thing.
Paul, how can people find out about one good thing and all the good things that we do for good things?
Wait. We're one good thing.
We sure are, mate.
That explains a lot, and God, I count myself lucky that it's never come up until now. So you can find out about all of this stuff that is apparently called One Good Thing. I've learned on reflection by going onto Twitter and Facebook at OGTPod. You can send us an email at gmail@ogtpod@gmail.com. Make sure you check us out on the social medias things.
Do it, get in there.
Because we put out the call for the OG team. And if you've seen Black Samurai and you're just screaming at the screen that you listen to podcasts on, this is the good thing. You didn't even talk about it. You fucking clowns. Then you should have been on Twitter at OGTPod telling us that, insulting us to our faces on Twitter. And
we love it.
And if you love that, if you love slinging abuse at us, but just thought, God, I wonder if the Pauls actually went on this platform and replied to us, you should go on to Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, we reply to things, probably. And we also released so many hours, at least 7, of special extra content, such as story generators, reviews of new movies, a special face-off commentary, which I'm very happy with, and more. And for is it a secret that we're doing the 2022 episode next week, or
2022 episode coming up?
So there'll be a little Patreon extra for that, and a lot more.
Lots more. So check it out there. I'm Paul Lotsmore.
I'm Paul checking out there. Checking out there.
And remember, the one good thing about Black Samurai is the bit where Jim Kelly just kicks a guy and all of his entire situation goes out a window.